People, it doesn't matter how or what you feel about Donald Trump, but if you're a true student of the Constitution, if you're a student of law, even if you have a moral standard of justice, all of America ought to be afraid right now for that man to be convicted without the right to adequately defend himself from charges that weren't even stated. We've lost our republic. Our Constitution is dead. And everyone else in America, we ought to be afraid for ourselves. It's not a good thing. And for those that think it is, that's the enemy.
To see Donald Trump spend in prison for his crime, what would you like to see?
All of his life.
All of his life?
That's what I just respect the rule of law. And for you guys to be out here celebrating a felon?
We're all fatigued. We're overloaded. We're being bombarded with nonstop attacks on America.
Hey, welcome back. It's your man Wise, and today we're checking out another video from our guy, James Klug. Please go over to his channel, give him a sub, give him a like, support everything that this brother's doing, man. He's out in the streets speaking and conversing with the people, educating the people as well. He's out in California once again. We're watching another video of Californians lose their mind in reference to this Trump conviction. The young lady at the beginning, she said anybody that's out here celebrating, anybody that's out here championing this decision is the enemy. And I'm 100% in agreement with that young lady there. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love and support. And without further ado, let's go.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, can I get your thoughts on the conviction?
Huh?
Can I get your thoughts on the conviction?
I trust the jury.
Right.
They heard the facts. I didn't hear all of them. They had a time to deliberate, and they came to a verdict.
Your initial thoughts on Donald Trump getting convicted, the first in American history?
Well, it's about time.
This is in a court of law, so I'm sure the facts were presented and the jury decided.
The law did its thing, acquitted or convicted. It is what it is. Yeah. Let's see what happens next.
Yeah, the evidence showed that he was guilty, but, you know,
this is how I view it. If he doesn't actually get convicted and nothing actually happens, this is only going to help him. It's only going to feed into the idea that he's being persecuted, which absolutely, you know, I can understand the argument for why that is.
Give me your thoughts on Donald Trump getting convicted.
Oh, that was bullshit. Am I allowed to say bullshit?
Yes.
Come on. You kidding me? A shame. It's a stain on America, a stain on our legal system, and on the Democratic Party.
I agree with that, brother, 100%. It's definitely a stain on the legal system. It's a stain on the American political system, on both parties, to be honest with you. This is not how we would like our country represented to the world. We look ridiculous right now. We really do. And to be honest with you, we probably look pretty ridiculous for quite some time. But no one ever thought in their wildest dreams that we would take things this far. We just never thought it. If you would have asked me 20 years ago, would we see the parties going at each other using the legal system and weaponizing it against their political opponents, I would have said no. I'd have said there's no way that we would do something along those lines in our country. It's crazy.
You guys see it as more targeting Donald Trump than anything?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why don't they start doing this to the Clintons? Why don't they start doing this to all the way back to Roosevelt?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it said that he has more felonies now than Al Capone. It's like,
that's correct.
This is targeted.
Everything is political.
Political.
I think they're trying to assassinate him.
Political assassination.
So that he won't become president.
Yeah.
For sure.
There you go.
So we're going to vote even more for him.
Obviously, it's very unfortunate and a disgrace to this country.
So you think it's a bad thing?
Yeah.
Do you see it as a biased trial against Donald Trump?
Yes.
Has this impacted your
Decision,
willingness
no.
or decision or anything to vote for Donald Trump?
No, not. Still going to vote Trump.
We have July. We have the judge that will be sentencing Donald Trump. If he gives Donald Trump jail time, would you guys still vote for Donald Trump even if he was in jail?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
100%.
Would you still vote for Donald Trump if he was in jail?
Nothing's going to change my mind.
100%.
Yeah, I'll still vote for him, of course. Yeah.
Of course. I mean, it's got to be obvious. You'd have to be blind or like mentally disabled not to see what's happening here.
This trial has emboldened a lot of people. There were people that were going to sit this one out and sit on the couch, and they've decided, I need to go be a part of this. I need to go be a part of this. Now, we live in a nation where people actually do have a say. It's a constitutional republic, but historically, we've had 50 to 60% of eligible voters participate in the vote. I almost thought before this trial that we might have less voter participation, to be honest with you. But man, since this trial hasn't come to a conclusion and they've decided to convict this man on 34 different Class E felonies that most people, I bet if he asked these people, I don't know if he's going to do it, but I bet if he asked them what was the actual crime, these people could not tell you what the crime was. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense to me. You have people that are celebrating this. They're celebrating. But if you ask them, okay, well, what did he actually do? They'll go through a word salad of fumbles and mumbles to come to some form of delusion conclusion as to why this is a good thing and he should have been convicted. It's outrageous. And the people that think that he should go to jail, spend time in prison for Class E felonies when he's a first-time offender and he's never been in any type of situation like this in his life. Those of y'all that think that he should go to jail, you do realize that we have people committing far worse crimes that under the first offender law don't get jail time. They'll get PBJ, which is probation before judgment. Some of them will get just long terms of probation. They don't typically get jail time. The fact that these people are asking for it, that just lets you know that the disdain for President Donald Trump is so strong. The Trump derangement syndrome is so strong in these people that they would be willing to throw the book at a man that has never found himself in criminal law or a criminal court before. First-time offender. These people are, they're just flat out evil. And to be honest with you, they don't really know what they're doing, because if they can do it to him, they can do it to any American citizen out there and just toss the book at you. Might as well get rid of the First Offender Act.
How much time would you like to see Donald Trump spend in prison for his crime? What would you like to see?
All of his life.
All of his life.
For you to celebrate a guy who just got convicted.
Do you mind if I ask you? A lot of people are seeing this as a biased trial against Donald Trump.
Of course they do, because they love Trump.
Yeah, I don't know all the facts, but I don't think it was biased per se. I mean, you can say that about any trial and whatever.
What do you think about that?
It's a lot of rubbish.
From the beginning, he lied that I never had sex with that gal, but he did, you know? I think they should have brought out...
That actually wasn't a part of the trial. This was a falsification of business records. This is a records error trial, not a did you have sex with Stormy Daniels trial.
No, but he always denied it.
Yeah, but that's separate. That's separate from the case, right?
I understand. I just meant...
I just want to make sure I'm clarifying for the viewers. Do you think that he was targeted? Do you think it was a biased trial against him?
No.
The reasons why people are bringing up kind of a biased trial, you have CNN's top legal analyst talking about this trial because there's a couple areas that was a little bit weird. You have the district attorney that ran on getting Donald Trump. Do you see that as a bias?
No.
Okay. He ran on getting Donald Trump. When it comes to telling people, convincing people that...
Now you're going down a different road. Thank you.
Do you mind giving people a message that would convince them that it's not biased against Trump?
All right, everyone, let's take a few moments to talk about today's sponsor. The
top legal analyst was also bringing this up when it comes to District Attorney Alvin Bragg. He ran on getting Donald Trump. That was a big thing. Do you see that as being biased against Donald Trump, who he is prosecuting?
But again, I'm trying to be objective here, but you always have your biases, but you can't do anything about it.
We ran on getting Donald Trump.
Okay, but as a district attorney, you either write I'm fighting for crime, tough on crime, or you're saying that you're going to get this guy. I don't know.
And then you have the judge that actually donated to Joe Biden, donated money to Joe Biden, and his daughter raised money off the trial. What would your message be to show people that that is not biased against Donald Trump? That is not a biased group against Donald Trump.
It's nothing to do with it. It's nothing to do with it.
You have a district attorney that downgraded 60% of felonies in 2023, okay, and used a falsifications of business records charge, which is a misdemeanor, but connected it to campaign finance law to bump it up to a felony. Do you think that that is suspicious, that a more soft on crime DA actually upgraded Trump's charge in this case?
Yeah, possible. I think that there was enough evidence to up it to the felony with the election thing, because the way that was whole set up between, having the $435,000, which was payments, $30,000 each of payment, and then the way they did it where Trump wrote the check and FedExed it back and forth between everybody,
But if it was for the election, right, they couldn't have spent that money. They couldn't have spent election money on that anyways. They would have been fined as well, because that would have been
I voted for Trump, but he's very vindictive, and I don't like that.
He never even answered the question. Alvin Bragg has been downgrading felonies left and right. Some felonies that have been considered acts of violence, robberies and things of that nature, downgrading them. He takes a case that's a misdemeanor and upgrades them. That hasn't been his track record. His track record has been giving people a chance, giving people a second chance. That's been his track record. But he goes to Trump and decides that I'm throwing the book at this guy. Not only are we going to throw the book at him, but we're going to upgrade these charges, and we're going to try to make one charge 30 semi charges. It just doesn't coincide with what he's been doing in his district for the entire time that he's held the position that he currently holds. How can you not see the weaponization? How can you not see it?
I do want to know your thoughts about people that are supporting this, that are celebrating this, that are saying it's a great thing that Donald Trump was convicted. What do you think?
They're misguided. They haven't looked at everything. You got to look at the whole picture.
They got TDS, man.
Oh, God. It's just sad.
I mean, on one side, I'd say watch out. Because if they want to play by dirty rules, they're going to get that back eventually.
I just respect the rule of law. And for you guys to be out here celebrating a felon?
Do you think that this is good or bad for our democracy?
In general, respecting the courts and the rule of law is really good for democracy.
That's a bad thing for the country.
What about jailing the political frontrunner against Joe Biden?
You sat in on the jury, yet they all did the same thing. So why is it that it's unfair? I don't get it.
CNN's top legal analyst wrote this in an article a couple days ago, and it says the judge, right, Judge Merchan, gave money in plain violation of a rule prohibiting New York judges from making political donations of any kind. I know we touched on this, to a pro-Biden, anti-Trump political operation, including funds that the judge earmarked for, quote, resisting the Republican Party and Donald Trump's radical right-wing legacy. And that seems to maybe stand out more so than anything else.
I forgot that that was a violation of the New York City law. Just,
It seems slightly problematic, I would say.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is going to positively or negatively impact Donald Trump for the election this year?
Well, I think it depends on what the sentencing is.
Of course it's positive. People know what's up. It's just more affirmation that the whole damn system is guilty as hell.
When the verdict came in, I was nervous it was going to be negative, but then watching all of my friends' reactions, watching, the public reaction, I think the Democrats blew it. I think it's going to do nothing but help him.
From what I've read, it's been a positive impact.
Positive impact, right.
It's definitely been a positive impact when it comes to fundraising, when it came to those that were considered independents or those that were just going to sit this one out. I think it's galvanized a lot of people, out there. They're seeing this system being weaponized against a political opponent. I personally think the Democrats, they made a bad chess move. They made a bad chess move, and they're on their way to being checkmated. They might have just made a bad chess move. You can't put yourself in check, but they basically placed themselves one move away from check and maybe two moves away from checkmate. That's my thought. But you're starting to see it more and more. More and more people are saying, I am riding with Trump. There are people out there that were saying, I wasn't even going to vote this time around, and now I'm supporting Trump. There were people that were on the fence, and now they're supporting Trump because we see what's going on. We see the direction that the Democrats would like to take this nation. They gaslight and they project, oh, you're fascists, they're racist, they're communists, they're this, that, and the third. In all actuality, they are everything that they project onto the other side. They're everything that they project on the other side. And to be honest with you, the sooner people start to realize that that's who they are and that's what they do, the better we'll be as a nation.
And from what's coming out from the world leaders, it's kind of a farce for the U.S. government.
So you mean they see it as more of a farce?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, I think it'll totally help him. Are you kidding? If nothing actually happens, it's going to feed into his own narrative that he's being persecuted by the media.
Yeah.
Most politicians, they do feel that way as well. Depends on from either the left or the right. Obviously, Trump's on the right side. So his narrative is that the left would be potentially persecuting him for things that aren't necessarily like real threats to national security.
This has obviously broken massive precedent. I mean, I don't even know how much I have to emphasize that because it's so massive. Do you see this as backfiring on the Democrats?
Definitely. I think I saw where the following day or maybe the same day that he was convicted or indicted.
Convicted.
$53 million was donated to his campaign. I think this is definitely backfiring against them.
Do you think that this is going to backfire on Democrats?
It already has.
I sure hope so. They're taking the country the wrong direction, I think. I think Trump will do the country good. Don't like the man, like his politics.
I mean, look, the African-American vote's going up.
That brother, the previous guy, nail on the head. There are so many people out there that put us in this situation because they voted against him because they didn't like him personally. They didn't like the way he was tweeting. They didn't like his language. They didn't like, his rhetoric. They didn't like that, but they benefited from the policies. But they voted against them because of things that were superficial. The likelihood of any citizen meeting a sitting president or a former president, slim to none. And to be honest with you, could care less. I'm solely voting about the policies. Simple as that. Were the policies better for me or worse for me? And we're getting a chance to judge two administrations side by side. We are able to compare apples to apples. Biden's administration, his economy sucks. His administration sucks. His cabinet sucks. They're terrible. They're going to go down. Biden's already going down as the worst president in U.S. history, but his administration, his cabinet, they're going right along with him. The worst cabinet in U.S. history. Just DEI foolishness all over the place. It's not about the person, it's about the policies. And I think more people are starting to realize that, especially in the Black community, the Latino community. We don't care about none of that stuff that they're talking about. Democrats keep trying to keep us in that, oh, they're racist and they're racist. No, we don't care about that. You can be racist over there. We care about the policies. And when Trump was in office, his administration, the economy was booming. And we were all benefiting from it, regardless of what you look like. If you were an American living in this country during that time frame, you benefited from how great our economy was.
Hispanic votes going up, Asian votes going up. You would never seen this 10 years ago down here. I think people were waking up. Everybody was just tired, man. I know, we're tired.
They could have brought this up years ago. This is a common argument. They could have brought this up years ago. Do you see this as election interference from the Democrats, or do you not?
Both parties are known for very long histories of election interference and doing whatever they can to sway it. Do I think this is timed? Absolutely. Of course.
I think that's what they intended it to be, but I think it's not working for them. Currently with his 58 million plus whatever donations, and people out here that are just angry. Conservatives are done, and I think it's going to make people fight a lot harder. And even last night I was talking to somebody who said that at the previous election they weren't sure. They were on the line and they were like, yeah, he's done a lot of things I don't agree with, but he's still a pretty good president. I don't know if I want to vote for him again. And now she's sold on him.
Really?
And I think that's happening for a lot of people is they're looking at this and they're saying, what are they trying to hide? Like, who do they want to stop? And is he a person I want to vote for? And so I see that happening a lot more now.
Because why didn't they, like I said, why didn't they do it 7 years ago? Because the problem is as soon as Trump decided that he's going to run again, that's when all these charges from election interference, from the documents at Mar-a-Lago, the Georgia trials, all these things came in. All these things came in at that time. Had he not decided to run for president, he wouldn't have been charged with anything.
It is definitely election interference. This is like third world level. Like, it's so transparent. I mean, maybe people that don't know anything don't care or don't get it, but real heritage Americans, people that have assimilated to this country, people that believe in freedom, they see right through this. And no matter what the propaganda and the repetition and the media keeps saying, we know what's up.
If we're going to indict him for what he did, are we going to go back and indict everybody with the Jeffrey Epstein situation and Hillary Clinton and everybody else that did wrong?
Well, no, those people are above the law. But
But in other words, don't be so naive. The bottom line, this is politics. What are the politicians we pay them for?
Is that a bad thing, that this is politics, therefore political lawfare?
The point I was trying to make was that when you're in office, what do the politicians do in Washington? All they do is investigate. When Trump, wait till he comes in this time, he's going to have a slew of all these people he's going to go after.
Why did we not convict Biden on his the document scandal and everything? Oh, because he's too old.
I don't know what that will look like necessarily, but if they're going to start targeting people and pulling different things out and having these sham trials, those are going to eventually turn against them.
When it comes to putting the shoe on the other foot, do you think that, I know this is kind of cliche, but do you think that Democrats would be happy about, let's say, Joe Biden being prosecuted and the judge donated to Donald Trump saying MAGA forever, let's get him, and then also the DA ran on getting Joe Biden and the judge's daughter using the trial to raise money for Democrats? Do you think Democrats would be okay with that, or do you think they would think it was biased?
Yeah, probably. There's always bias. In other words, we have 932 federal judges, okay? So what does really our vote mean? You go to a federal judge, he's appointed. We all know there's certain district courts that are conservative. You want something done, you go to a conservative. You have a liberal type of thing, you go to a liberal judge, the Ninth Circuit. I forget which was which.
I just realized that this dude is out there with a mask on. Why? It's 2024, and it looks like it's a cloth mask at that. It's 2024, bro. It's been debunked already. It's been proven that those things don't work. Why is this dude out here with that? But it's just so disgusting to me how these liberals dance around the question. If the shoe was on the other foot, we know that they would be screaming from the rooftops, this is bias, this is political persecution. They would. And the thing is that it would be louder because 90 to 95% of the media outlets are liberal. They're liberal leaning. We all know this. And they would be shouting it from the rooftops if the shoe was on the other foot. Y'all know it. I know it. We all know it. Look at them right now. Look at how they've been going after Representative Byron Donald over the fake Jim Crow talks. And they lie. They lie loud. They lie so much that they start to believe the daggone lies. They're ridiculous, man.
They should have picked a different district that was more down the middle instead of a 90% Democratic district.
It was a tough call because in New York, I would venture to say that on the one hand, they had two lawyers that probably, scrutinized all the facts. And on the other hand, New York, probably 70% were against Trump to start with. When you pick
the 70% would have been an improvement on the 85 or 90% district.
I hear you.
Honestly, I think that now that it's over, at least until the sentencing portion, they're going to start seeing more turnouts like this. And I think it's going to send a message.
I live here in America 29 years ago, and I am proud America. I'm Latina, Hispanic, proud American, and I love this man, okay? He is the only guy for make this country safe. Because Biden, no, nobody, Democrats, no, evils.
Back in the 1980s, my dad was a Republican. His best friend was a Democrat. His best friend was a political cartoonist for the LA Times. The two of them were best friends. And they could communicate, they could talk. They would both of them would be so ashamed to see what's happening now.
Things have slightly changed, that's for sure.
We're all fatigued. We're overloaded. We're being bombarded with nonstop attacks on America.
Donald Trump is the next president of America, and I'm Peruvian Latina, proud of my presidente. I love Donald Trump. I'm from Peru, proud America. I'm here, I'm working hard. And I never ask for nothing free because I'm proud America.
You see the polls.
Donald Trump presidente 2024.
All right, everyone, that is it for today. So there ended up being a little Trump rally here today, which was pretty interesting, but we still tried our best to talk to people from all over the political spectrum.
Shout out to James Klug, man. Please go over to his channel if you haven't done so already, man. Give that brother a sub, man. He is doing great work out there in California. At least these people are a little more educated, but California is a mess. There is a reason that California is the way it is right now. And there's a reason that they voted Gavin Newsom in over Larry Elder. There's a reason. Goodness gracious, man. The people, majority of the people out there are just lost human beings, man. They're indoctrinated, with this liberalism like no other. And they are living in a state that is crumbling all around them, and they seem to not care. It's the craziest thing. It is the craziest thing. But as I see in the comment sections, as I seen out there, they had a, Trump rally, out there in Huntington Beach, California. So there's a lot of people that are deciding to support President Trump and just the conservative side of things. You're starting to see that more. And it seems like it's a trend. It's almost like a wildfire that is caught, and now it's sweeping across the country. And I'm glad to see it because the policies of this current administration, they have been and they are a detriment to the American way of life and to society. Let me know what you guys think about this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love and support. Consider joining the ARP family. It helps me do what I do on a day-to-day basis. And it helps me bring solid content to you guys, on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. I appreciate each and every person that has already joined the family. I appreciate you guys. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. And I'm going to catch up with you all next time. Peace.